What if reality is not what it seems? We trust the solidity of the world around us, the walls, the sky, the ground beneath our feet. We believe our lives unfold in the present, shaped by the past, reaching toward the future. But what if all of it, every moment, every thought, every dream, does not belong to us at all? What if we are not living inside reality, but inside someone else's memory? It is a question that rattles the foundations of everything we think we know. A question that forces us to reconsider what life, time, and consciousness truly mean. If memories can deceive us, distort themselves, and vanish, then what happens when memory is not just part of our minds, but the very fabric of existence itself? How stable is memory itself? Human memory is fragile, a shifting illusion we mistake for truth. Psychologists tell us that every time we recall an event, we rewrite it. We polish details, blur faces, alter timelines. Eyewitnesses disagree on the same crime. Families argue about the same childhood moment. Brothers and sisters remember the same day differently. And sometimes, memory betrays us completely. We recall things that never happened. We carry the certainty of events that no one else remembers. We insist upon places, songs, conversations, that exist nowhere outside the theater of our own minds. If memory is this unstable in a single brain, how much stranger, how much more fragile, would it be if our entire reality were itself nothing more than a memory? A memory we are trapped inside? Could déjà vu be the key to this prison? That eerie shiver of recognition. The sense of having lived a moment before. Science calls it a brain glitch, a misfire in the circuits of perception. But what if déjà vu is not an error at all? What if it is a trace of a memory not truly ours? What if it is the ghost of the original life we are reliving, bleeding through into our awareness? Perhaps déjà vu is not evidence of time flowing forward. Perhaps it is the reminder that time has already happened. We are not experiencing it. We are replaying it. Every flicker of déjà vu could be the whisper of truth. This is not your life. You are walking through someone else's recollection. Are we confusing dreams with memories? Dreams are slippery, elusive, and yet unforgettable. In them we see faces we do not know, embrace strangers who feel like family, wander through streets that do not exist. Where do these fragments come from? Are they inventions of the dreaming brain, or are they borrowed fragments of the memory we inhabit? What if our dreams are cracks in the illusion? Glimpses of the mind that dreamed us into being? Perhaps in sleep, we slip closer to the source, the consciousness whose memory we are replaying. The dream feels so real because it was real. For them. And when we wake, we dismiss it. We tell ourselves, it was only a dream. But maybe, just maybe, it was a moment of truth. Could the Mandela Effect be proof of fractured memory? Across the world, entire groups of people remember histories differently. They quote movie lines that never existed. They swear by events that never happened. They mourn the deaths of figures who never died. The Mandela Effect is explained away as mass false memory, the quirks of human recall. But what if these are not mistakes? What if they are the signs of overlapping memories, different versions of history, colliding inside the replay? Maybe we are not trapped in one memory at all, but in layers of them. Copies upon copies, slightly misaligned. Each version leaking into the next, so that we inherit contradictions, one memory where Mandela died decades ago, another where he lived into the 21st century. One memory where a movie existed, another where it did not. What if we are stumbling through fractured tapes of someone else's recollections, forced to make sense of a library where the shelves have collapsed and the books bleed into one another? Do we feel emotions that are not our own? Why do we sometimes ache with nostalgia for places we've never been? Why do we feel sudden grief for faces we've never seen? Why does music sometimes stir tears for no reason at all? Perhaps these emotions are not random. Perhaps they are the lingering imprints of someone else's life. Echoes of their joys, their losses, their loves, their fears, still alive inside us because we are their memory. What if every stray sorrow, every unexplainable longing, is not a flaw of the psyche but a sign that we are carrying the residue of another soul? Their emotions ripple through us, like heat left in ashes long after the fire is gone. Whose memory are we living in? If our world is a memory, then whose? A single person? A vast collective? Or something greater? Could we be trapped inside the recollections of one long-gone mind, its thoughts preserved in a perfect loop? Are we the eternal playback of their life, repeating endlessly so they are never forgotten? Or are we the memories of the universe itself, consciousness remembering its own story, moment by moment, so that nothing is ever lost? Perhaps reality is not a place. Perhaps it is remembrance. And we are the proof that even the universe does not want to forget. What about time itself? We believe time flows forward, carrying us from past to present to future. But memory does not flow. Memory leaps. It rewinds. It collapses centuries into an instant. If our world is a memory, then time is only the illusion of recall. Moments are replayed in sequence, like frames of a film, to create the sensation of living. But in truth, everything has already happened. We are not moving forward. We are simply watching the recording, convinced we are alive. The past is not behind us. The past is us. Could science already support this? Physicists speak of reality as information, not matter, not energy, but data. A cosmic code, written and stored in the fabric of existence. If reality is information, then it can be stored. And if it can be stored, it can be replayed. Neuroscientists tell us memory is not a perfect archive. It is a reconstruction, pieced together anew every time we recall it. Each memory is not the past itself, but a story we rebuild. Combine the two ideas, physics and neuroscience, and a haunting possibility emerges: what we call life is not original. It is the reconstruction of a memory, played back within a system vast enough to contain it. A grand simulation, not of possibility, but of recollection. We are living inside the memory of something else. Why would such a memory exist? If memories fade when forgotten, perhaps replaying them preserves them. Perhaps our existence is the act of preservation, to keep the story alive, to let the experience endure. Maybe we are not here to live. Maybe we are here to remember. To be the caretakers of someone else's story, repeating it endlessly so it never dies. Perhaps we are not sparks of independent life, but sparks keeping a flame alive, the flame of another being's memory. What happens when the memory fades? This is the most haunting thought of all. Memories do not last forever. They erode. They fragment. They dissolve into silence. If we are living inside a memory, then one day it will fade completely. The skies will dim. The streets will fracture. Our world, our lives, our very selves will vanish as the memory slips away. And when that day comes, will we know it? Will we feel the edges crumble? Will reality flicker like an old film, frames tearing apart, colors bleeding to white? Or will we simply stop, unaware, dissolving back into the mind that dreamed us? And so the question remains: are we truly alive, or are we shadows trapped in the fragile memory of something greater? Perhaps déjà vu, dreams, and impossible emotions are not flaws, but signs. Signs that we are not the originators of our story. We are only participants in a memory we cannot escape. And perhaps one day, when the memory ends, we will finally wake. Only to realize we were never real at all.